Hey Keegan, I saw this study from a couple years ago that fish feel pain and they don't want to die. Did you see that study?
We know they're a living creature. We do everything we can not to make them suffer in any way, shape, or form.
You don't think the hook is suffering?
Well, when you talk about the trillions of fish around the world and how many millions of people would actually starve without fish.
Well, I'm not talking about them, I'm talking about you.
Okay, well,
Would you like a hook in your mouth?
no, I also wouldn't like the current president in the Oval Office, but
Well, I mean, come on, man, that's completely different.
you know, I'm not
We don't like him either.
advocating violence in any way, shape, or form. Now, I love being out here on the water,
Yeah, we do too.
but
Hey, man, I used to fish too, but you evolve and you figure out that it's torture and you don't need to do it.
no, I don't really see it as being torture. The fallacy is the big industry when it comes to what do they call it? Sustainable fishing, or what do they call that?
Yeah, I mean, they do bottom trawling, all that shit.
It's
horrible.
destroying the ocean. I mean,
Yep.
we're so concerned about the stuff coming out of our tailpipe, but when it comes to the cleaning and balance of the entire planet, what we're doing to the ocean is the big problem.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking about it.
Nope.
And
That's
it's
why we were
I
talking
mean,
about Seaspiracy. It's a good one.
we can do everything we possibly can with technology to make our cars more fuel efficient, and we have been doing that. I mean, I'm a truck driver, and just in the last 10 years, our fuel economy has gone from about 5.5 miles a gallon up to close to 7 to 8. So I mean, we're getting better, but
Yeah, the single biggest thing you can do to fight climate change is go vegan, according to an Oxford University study by Joseph Poor. So eating seafood is the worst thing you could do for the ocean because 46% of the plastic in the Pacific, the Great Pacific Garbage Patch is from fishing.
listen. I've seen the same thing you're talking about, and it disgusts me as much as it does you.
Yeah.
I wish there was more we could do about it. I wish our,
Well, we can be vegan. That's the biggest thing we can do.
well, it's not happening.
How come?
I mean, I eat a lot more salad than I used to. I know my shape doesn't show it. I enjoy my beer too.
Beer's vegan.
But you know that you don't have to, you can be vegan, right? Like, you agree with that,
I
right?
could,
Yeah.
but there's how many billion people on this planet, and there's 1.5 billion in China and in Asia. Their communist regime doesn't care.
But we can care.
Have you seen they're like entire cities of just cancer, and it's because they don't have anywhere close to the amount of the environmental protections that we have.
Regulation.
So there's entire villages of farmers, generations of people that have just been killed because 300 yards away they've got a little tin roof over cancerous runoff. And
Right. Did you
not
know
only that,
cancerous runoff comes from pig farms and chicken farms and cattle farms?
listen, I would love for all the farming to be, grass-fed, uncaged, everything.
They still go to the slaughterhouse when they're grass-fed
I'm
and...
a truck driver. I've picked up from milk plants. I've picked up from meat producers. I know what it is.
Right.
You don't have a problem with, like, killing animals if you know it's unnecessary?
I also need to feed my family.
No, I know, but we just
So
talked
I
about
have to drive.
You could feed them with plants, but yeah, I hear you.
Right.
You don't have. That's what we're saying. Most people don't know that it's actually 100% unnecessary, and it's actually healthier for you. A lot of the major cancers are caused by eating animals. Heart disease, prostate cancer, breast cancer.
All the preservatives that they put in our food too.
No. It's the actual animals that you're eating. It has nothing to do with the preservatives.
Well, I highly doubt that the Native Americans that killed what they needed to eat, they weren't getting cancer.
Yeah, but we can't look at Native Americans and judge how we live now. I mean, they probably
Native
murdered
Americans
and raped.
used every piece of what they killed.
Yeah, I know.
They either ate it or made clothing or whatever they had to make out of it.
Do you think the animal felt better knowing that?
They didn't have shopping centers, like grocery stores.
Listen, I am with you, but there has to be some sort of there has to be a meeting point in the middle. I'm not abusing. I'm not a glutton. I don't eat steak every single day of the week. I don't waste what I buy.
But every time you do eat steak, you're saying that your taste pleasure is worth more than an animal's life. Which is, I never thought about that when I used to eat meat, and no one ever thinks.
The tens of thousands of people that work within that industry, where do we find jobs for all those people?
Plant farming.
Well, if we were talking about an industry of human sex trafficking, I don't think we would be talking about like, oh no, they're going to lose their jobs. Where are they going to work? So you have to remember it's a matter of an injustice happening to a innocent creature. So, I mean...
That's what I'm doing right here, too.
What?
Some people do this to get something to feed their family. It's also a multi-billion-dollar industry that gives jobs to hundreds of thousands of people across this country. From the people that make the motors, the people that make the boats, the people that make the kayaks, people that make the fishing equipment, everything. It's such a huge business.
Unnecessary business. I mean, you don't have to feed your family with animals. That's what we're trying to tell you. It's a choice.
I wish they made things. I wish they made life a lot easier so that we could actually survive on collected rainwater.
Oh yeah.
I wish we could. I wish we could have our own acre and farm what we needed to eat.
Yep.
Yeah, gardens.
Some places don't even let you collect rainwater.
Yeah.
And God knows you can't. You still have to pay for your property. You still have to pay for your house.
Right.
So you need to work. Now they've made it impossible for, if you have a typical family of 3 or 4, after the kids get to school age, both of the parents have to work just to make ends meet. Now you don't have the time to have that garden or raise those.
Yeah.
We don't like it, but if we all raised our own cage-free hens and got our own eggs,
We don't need eggs.
I wish there was a happy medium.
It's a lot easier to just switch.
This kind of dialogue, I mean, do you find it easy to talk with people that might have varying opinions? I don't. I mean, my hat says Trump.
Okay, can I talk for a second? Can I talk? So, the egg industry, when you purchase hens for your backyard eggs, you're actually paying for an industry that grinds baby male chicks alive and slaughters hens. And we don't need to do that. And I agree with you about off-grid living and, self-sufficiency and not depending on the government, because the government sucks, especially with the pandemic nonsense. But what we can do that's so much easier and so much less work than moving to that off-grid lifestyle is just to move our hand over to the oat milk and to get the veggie burger instead of the murdered animal burger. So going vegan is actually easier than switching your whole lifestyle, and you can do that now.
I'm sure I'm sure it's better for you. I'm
Well, it's
convinced
better for the animals. It's better for the animals.
We went vegan because our taste buds aren't worth the life of an animal.
as long, but see now that they're explain to me why we've gotten to the point where organic vegetables are nearly twice as much as the genetically modified ones.
It's really easy. It's called subsidies. So that's the only reason why your milk costs $4 a gallon instead of 30. It's because taxpayer dollars are going and creating an unequal amount of price. It's not even a real price.
Right.
What if they subsidize their fruits and vegetables? Everything would be so much cheaper.
Yeah.
They're subsidizing the things that are literally killing us.
But that just goes back with the government not caring about our health.
No, they truly don't, because they make money off of our obesity and
it's called sick care, right? Not health care.
right. You know, that's why they're forcing us to get these vaccines, because the pharmaceutical companies that have had to pay out billions in lawsuits over the years, they got to make that money up, and now they
Yep. Pfizer in 2009 had to pay $2.3 billion.
Right.
Because they marketed a drug that wasn't FDA approved for that use.
Well, look at was it Johnson and Johnson? I mean, there's stuff in baby powder.
Yeah.
For goodness sake, I mean, yeah.
But if you don't like to live in pandemics, actually the best thing you can do to prevent that is by going vegan, because all of the pandemics are caused by zoonotic diseases, which is caused by our interactions with the animals. So the best way to prevent them is actually just eat plants. It's all connected.
I think there are ways to do everything. Unfortunately, there's so many people on this planet, and you know, if we could just get rid of money, that'd be great.
Barter system, right?
But let's face it, we're gonna have one of the next catastrophic war before that happens.
Could be right.
I think what we need to get rid of is not having empathy for others.
I don't know. I'm with you. I try to treat people with respect. I definitely treat the fish that I catch with respect. I make sure they are alive when I let them go. I don't know what to tell you. This creates so much balance for me.
Like, what do you mean balance?
Balance, it's a psychological, it's an escape from everything
Oh,
else that's
yeah.
going on.
Well, that's because you're out in nature.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. You don't need to, like, have the stabbing fish in the mouth component. It's because you're out in beautiful nature.
But it's a challenge. I like the serenity.
Yeah, but it's not serene for the fish to be stabbed in the mouth.
No, it's not. But it's such a better alternative to some of the little male chickens that you had mentioned before.
But there's another alternative where we don't hurt any of them, you know? Like, there's no right way to do the wrong thing. I know it's a tough conversation. We're activists. We talk to a lot of people.
It's not a tough conversation. There are some people that would tell you to bug off. I know there are.
Oh yeah. We've been assaulted for just holding signs, so we appreciate the civil discourse.
I have seen all 48 continental states doing what I do as a truck driver. I've seen all sorts of different types of industries, and unfortunately there's waste and corruption, pollution, all over the place.
Oh yeah,
So I guess we all have to do our own little part.
definitely. The biggest thing we can do is go vegan. There's also a good documentary called Dominion. It's free on YouTube. It just shows what happens in like the meat, dairy, seafood, and egg industries, because
Okay.
it's really terrible animal cruelty,
Yeah.
especially like with the stuff you get from the grocery store. But even the local family farms and stuff, they still go to the same slaughterhouse, and we've been to slaughterhouses and we've looked at the animals and we've tried to give them water, and it's really, you know, if they were dogs and cats, people would be outraged. But
Yeah, we certainly have a different view when it comes to the cute and cuddly furry creatures.
yeah,
That's called speciesism.
Yeah.
It's a term that was like coined back in the 70s. Seeing yourself as someone, you know, above other species.
It's all just a con to try to make us feel a little bit better about what goes on behind what we don't know.
Yeah.
No, I've seen some of the things you're talking about. I've definitely eaten far less seafood over the last year since I've seen it. I wish you could spend a week at my shoes. Like, if you try to travel the country and the only real place that you can stop to get food is a truck stop, everything on the shelf is made to last for months, if not years. So I have put on, in 7 years, I have put on 50 pounds.
yeah, and that's terrible. They
And it's
shouldn't.
not because I'm overeating, it's because
Right.
I can't make the food that I want to make for myself.
Yeah, so we've done cross-country road trips where we've lived in the car, and what we do is we pack dehydrated rice, dehydrated beans, pastas, and stuff like that. But I totally hear you. Every rest stop, all they have is disgusting fried food, and that's not right.
Yeah, it's either stuff that is made to be frozen and fried quickly, or it's made to last a nuclear holocaust on the shelf for years.
Right.
So,
Yep. Yeah, and it's a lot of things are out of our control, you know, but like something like fishing and what we buy at the grocery store is 100% in our control. So it's just a matter of doing your best, you know.
I love fishing. I've been doing it for years.
I think you love just being out in nature, though.
Yeah, I think you like that more.
Yeah.
I do.
And I think because people do it with their family and everything growing up as kids, they kind of associate it with love and, you know, family time. So I think that's where that comes from, but
Well, there is hope. I don't know how much of the country you have seen. I have seen thousands of windmills.
oh yeah.
I have seen acres upon acres of solar farms. America is not dead last when it comes to that.
No.
I have seen, the Columbia River Valley between Washington and Oregon.
Yep, we were there last year. Yep.
So I've seen it at night, and you come across, you're going through the hills, and it's beautiful, and all of a sudden you got blinking red lights
Yep.
as far as you can see, and every single one of them is
It's
a
a
windmill.
windmill. Yep.
But we have to work together. Unfortunately, our energy needs require fossil fuels at this point.
Yeah, that's the tough part.
We can't shy away from them.
Yeah, sadly, it uses fossil fuels to make a solar panel, you know, and a windmill.
Eventually, the technology is going to get better.
Yep.
I have got an hour and a half to get back to my trucking terminal.
Yeah, I
All right.
appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks for the conversation.
It's been a pleasure.
Yep.
Have a good night and good luck with the trucking and everything.
I don't think truckers get enough praise.
Oh
They do
yeah.
a lot. Without you guys, we wouldn't have food on the table.
Or anything.
It would be nice if it got to the point where we each had our own 2 acres, and we were
Yep.
taught really the essential things in school.
Exactly. I agree.
You learn how to plant a seed and nurture it to sustain your own self. It would be better.
Yep.
Definitely.
Have a good one.
Fish feel pain. Fish don't want to die or be stabbed.